Good. Well, we just got stuck in a little loop there. Good morning and welcome to Coffee on the Coast. I'm your host, Tina Prigge. It is that happy day of the month where I get to talk with Therese Horsketter from the award-winning Manitowoc Public Library. We're going to have a little book banter. Therese, I've been looking forward to this morning. Welcome back to Coffee on the Coast.
Oh, glad to be here. I like talking books.
And you've always got some great recommendations. And, let's start off by reminding viewers that it is the summer reading program at the Manitowoc Public Library. This is for all ages, kids, adults included. And, from my perspective, reading is a treat, right? Reading is the reward in and of itself. But if you participate in the summer reading program, there's a chance for rewards and some free books and all kinds of cool stuff.
It's fun. It encourages some people to read, and others, it's just the idea you're already reading, so why not participate? You don't have to. If you don't care about the content, still participate. It's fun.
Absolutely.
You're using one of our programs, so it just all works out for everyone to be involved in it.
Are librarians allowed to participate, or do you have to abstain?
We have a staff version that we do. So that's kind of fun too. Yeah.
Yeah, that is awesome. So registration is already open for that. It's not too late. You can dive in and join the summer reading program. And then, the books that we talk about, the recommendations that you share with us, Therese, are oftentimes great choices that somebody might want to read for the summer reading program. The last time we talked, you recommended this book cover that's on the right called The Kindred Spirits Supper Club. I just finished it. It was a delightful, just little enjoyable read. But what I really loved about it is you mentioned that Amy Reichert, the author, is from Manitowoc. So it's got all of these touchstones and reference points and point of view from Wisconsin.
It's always nice to read her books. She's set them in different areas, Milwaukee, Door County. It really is just a feel of you're there. When you can picture yourself there, it just makes the book a little bit more fun that way.
Yeah, and it made me realize there's not that many books that I come across that have that point of view,
right.
That are set like right here in our own community, our own state.
Yeah, it is nice. She puts a nice feel into them no matter what, but that's an extra with them, for sure.
Yeah. So thanks for that great recommendation last time. And so let's dive into your recommendations this time. Look, can we start with this book on the right? I read the jacket cover and I was like, wow. This book is called The Invisible Husband of Frick Island by Colleen Oakley. Tell us a little bit about this story.
I just finished reading that last week. It is not a heavy read. There is some drama. There is a little, I think one of the biggest things, it's set on a really small island where most of the people know each other. There are fishermen, there's the person who runs a bed and breakfast. They do have some visitors, but not that many at this point. And one of the main characters is called Anders Caldwell. He's a journalist, and he is actually sent to this island to cover their cakewalk, which is an event they have every year. And he's trying to get away from doing that kind of thing. He thought by this time he would be maybe a better known journalist, a podcaster. And this is just what he was not hoping to be doing. But and then he gets an anonymous email that he is missing a bigger story on the island. And he has no idea, of course, who sent it, and really what they give no clue about what the story is that he's missing. There is one of the stories on the island is The Invisible Husband. Piper Parrish was married to Tom, and they were still almost newlyweds, married probably about a year. And he is a fisherman. He goes out and doesn't return one day. Well, the thing about that is that when he meets her, he finds out that everywhere she goes, people are addressing Tom like he is with her. So she goes to a restaurant and she'll go for breakfast and say, we'll have the usual. And they bring 2 plates of food out, her usual and Tom's usual. And people will talk as she's walking along. If she goes to visit down by the docks where she always waited for him every day, and the guys there will, just talk like he's there. They don't really talk to him, but they talk as if he is there. And they found his boat at some point, but they did not find him. And so everybody feels she's still holding out hope for that they're somehow going to find him.
Mm.
So Anders really doesn't know what to do about this, and he tries to make his way in with her to get more information. And he also starts helping the people on the island because they just keep calling him an outsider. And at least one of the guys refers to him as, okay, Dan Rather, or okay, Peter Jennings, and he calls him different journalist names. And so it's kind of funny with him trying to fit in. There's some talk of, the fact that the island may be getting smaller. There's just erosion, the different things that can be happening on the island, and the fact that people are just barely making it with supporting each other, at their businesses. And so there's a lot going on. But like I think I said, it's not a heavy book. It's good. There are those characters you would have that all know each other and function together well. There's a love story, and I like to think there's a love story of the people supporting Piper in what she's going through. And one other funny thing is that for some reason, because of the way Anders dresses, they think he's a Mormon, and someone just got that idea, and it kind of spread. And it's just because of the way he dresses. And so he does try to help all these people, hoping that he will become not the outsider all the time. So it's a good book. There's a lot more that happens than, what you can share. But yeah, I thought it was a nice little read.
Awesome. Well, it's a completely unique plot line from what you described, right? So husband gone missing, but the widow and the rest of the island, as you described, support her in still sort of interacting with him or imagining that he's there.
Right.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I've put a hold on it. I hope it comes in time for the summer reading program, but if not, I will just read it when it comes.
Oh, and that's one other thing, mentioning the summer reading program. You can put in a review of a book, and then that gains a little bit more towards, the different prizes and things. So that's kind of fun too, to keep in mind.
Oh, good tip. Awesome. Well, on the same graphic that shows the invisible husband of Frick Island, speaking of islands, there's another book called Northern Spy by Flynn Barry. I think, is that one set in Ireland?
Yes, it is. It takes place around Belfast, and it is a contemporary book. This one I did not read. It is a preview, and I still hope to read it. It is basically 2 sisters and their mom, Tessa and her sister Marion. They're adults, and her sister Marion is supposedly on vacation, but they usually hear from her every day, and they haven't heard from her for a while. And they are in an area that still has terrorist attacks and just all the things in that area that go on, that something we don't live with, or I should say not on a daily basis anyway. And they haven't heard from her, and her mother gets contacted that something about her being involved with the IRA. And they're like, no, she's just on vacation. There must be some mistake. And then Tessa at home sees news footage. And as the reporter is talking in the background, she sees her sister putting on a black ski mask. That's what was in the blurb. So that's what I can share. And I thought, oh, this sounds very good, because in the blurb, it mentions what will happen with this family and what is really true. They're kind of operating under the assumption maybe she was forced into this, and we don't know at this point. So I think it sounds like a very good read.
Interesting. And it does say on the cover that it's a novel, so it's not specifically based on some true incidents, but I feel like it's probably pretty well influenced by some of the experiences that they have.
Right. And you hear these stories in the news about, oh, we never thought this person would be involved here or there. So is it going to be that kind of thing that they knew so little of her, at this age, or something she has made her way into, or is it something that she chose not to be in, but she is? So
yeah, interesting. And an interesting little corner of the world to learn a little bit more about, right? To learn more about
right.
what that setting is like and what that tension is like.
Right. And the author is an American author. She's written a couple of, I would say, family dramas previously that were well received. And so I'm hoping this one will be really a good read. I think it will be.
Yeah, it sounds good. So let's talk about this next one. It's called Dog on It. It's kind of cute, the thought that, this book is maybe from the point of view of the dog. I'll let you explain it. I haven't read it, but just reading the jacket cover, we don't get to talk that much about
Yeah.
little furry friends on here. So
Dog on It is subtitled, it's a Chet and Bernie mystery. There are, I think, 8 or 9 in the series now. This was the first one, and it really is from about 10 years ago, roughly. So Bernie is a private investigator, and Chet is his canine companion. And Chet is the one who narrates. But it is just funny. I mean, you get all of the other conversations and other things that are happening, but Chet has a way of reading people by scent, by just the looks they'll have on their face, and he'll make comments like, "Oh, Bernie doesn't like this guy, and he's got that red face again. So I think we're in trouble here. This is going to be a rough one." It'll be stuff like that. And then when Bernie should collect money from people, this is one thing that pops up a lot. He'll stick a check in his pocket and he'll go, "Oh, he's lost those before. That is not going to help us any." Or Bernie is very soft-hearted towards some people, and we don't have to charge you yet. And Chet's like, "We're not going to have money again this month for," it's, so he makes these comments. There are plenty of people other than, you could almost forget that Chet is really narrating sometimes. And it doesn't get too cheesy with him narrating either. It's not all humor. There is a lot of, there is a woman in the books that Bernie is sort of interested in, and I haven't read all of them, so I don't know exactly where this all goes. But Chet will be making comments about, "Oh, I can see that she is happy to see him," and he'll just make comments like that. But they are very good mysteries all on their own. If they didn't have a dog narrating them, they would still be good books.
Cute. So it's a mystery. It's the point of view of the dog, and so it's still geared though towards adults. This isn't a children's book, right?
There are definitely adult books, and this one was set. It was I know, there was a blurb from Stephen King on the cover, saying the book was enchanting, that he just loved it, and so that was actually what made me pick it up in the first place, because I thought, oh, this looks like one of those, sometimes you think they're going to be a little cheesy, but then I saw, oh, well, we have to look at this. And then I really enjoyed it. They are very easy reads. They do have humor, but like I said, this one had a serious mystery in it as well, with a teenage girl that goes missing, and he is hired by the mom to find her. And So yeah, I just think it's a nice series to recommend, but just starting with this one, I think, it's I've seen it around for a long time, so it's a series that has continued well too.
Cute. So this is the first one in the series. And did you say about how many books are total in the series?
I think there might be, I think at least six. It might be up to eight or nine even though. I didn't
Oh,
look,
nice.
yeah, but it really is. And I think in a way you could probably read them individually too, that you wouldn't have to read the entire, because you're going to get the idea pretty quick what's going on with Chet and Bernie with
Gotcha.
dog and yeah.
Aw, so cute. Cool.
Yeah,
Well, that's kind of fun to have one from the dog's point of view.
yeah.
Let's talk about High Fire. And I'm not even sure how to pronounce the author's name.
Someone said, one of the other staff members just said Ian. So I don't
Oh,
just, yeah. So
High Fire, Ian Colfer. Okay, tell us about this.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Oh, tell us about High Fire.
Oh, yes. High Fire caught my eye a couple of years ago because it said it was a book about a modern day alcoholic dragon. And so that just, it was something I had to check into. And his name from days of yore was Wyvern Lord High Fire of the High Fire Eyrie. He's now known as Vern. He is a modern day dragon. He has survived for many, many years. And he lives in Louisiana. And he has to have someone help him get supplies and things. So he can go out and do all his things, the flying, the breathing fire. He is that kind of dragon. And I think it's funny, he has a recliner with a hole in it for his tail, things like that are kind of funny. And it's not, so I guess he may be alcoholic. That's the way they listed it somewhere. He just has someone who brings him the supplies he needs, including his vodka. So, and it starts with, or I should say the characters include a very bad man, the sheriff that is in that area. Not just being a bad sheriff, bad man overall. And the other one that is the main character of like four is Squib. He's a teenager. He's raised by a single mom, and he ends up getting to know Vern. And so it's really how the two of them survive together, learn to coexist, but keep it a secret. And because he has to stay secret, of course. But so he could either just roast him or he could let him be his friend, So those are kind of the choices for the dragon.
So when you say fire breathing, I was assuming when I read the jacket of the cover that it was like a performance artist, like breathing fire.
Nope,
No. Oh.
Ails the whole thing, yes. And he believes he is the last one on Earth. And he has somehow managed to survive this long. And so there's quite a bit having to do with Squib, the teenager, and his mom. It's kind of a smaller area that they live in. So this crooked sheriff and the mom and Squib all have things going on, it involves all. They don't know about Vern though, the dragon. So
Needless to say, a work of fiction?
yes, and
Okay.
a different read, and I really enjoyed it though. I thought, oh, it's going to be, I didn't have really high hopes. I've always liked the idea of dragons, but then to read about one that is, and he can talk though, so that's how they can communicate. And I think most dragons that we remember or think of in movies and books don't talk. So
Yeah, right.
for him too. So, and the
Is this part of a series?
no,
Oh,
it's part of a series. the author generally writes kids' books. The Artemis Fowl series, that is something that the author wrote. I think this is the only adult fiction book that he has published.
Okay. Nice. Fun. What an interesting collection you're sharing with us today, Therese. And based on the cover that's next to High Fire, tell me what this is. Ask Me What's for Dinner one more time. Inappropriate Thoughts on Motherhood by Meredith Masony.
Well, this woman, Meredith, has actually a podcast that she started in 2014. Well, it's called an online parenting community called That's Inappropriate. And so it really is kind of moms venting on things. And there are some things, there's language, there's kind of harsh and sarcastic humor, but kind of the way I think people deal a lot with things that are annoying in their life. And so it kind of rings true. I watched her live a little bit, and live, I definitely get the same feeling as what I read in the book, that she's not, it's not cutesy, I guess, put it that way. And so there are all, short little kind of chapters so that they lead from one thing to another. And so a couple of them were like, this is how to fold a towel if you want to get divorced, and directed at her husband. And it's a family trip, not a vacation, and 5 ways to tell the difference. And then there's some that I can't share with just the titles of the different sections. So some might be, I think some of it got a little much at times, but at the same time, there was a lot that was pretty funny. So I thought they were well worth, it goes through the things that I think as husband and wife, because a lot of it that I read was the interplay between her and her husband, and about how he should fold the laundry. And he said, well, it can just get however. Does it make a difference? She goes, I want you to want to fold the laundry the right way. It's things like that. But then, like with the thing about the family trip, and so things are sometimes better alone time rather than trying to do too much. And so it was, I read chunks of it. I did not read it through from end to end. You can kind of skip around and choose the areas that you want to read more. So I thought it was rather fun. And like I said, she's got a pretty sometimes harsh sense of humor in a way, but I think a lot of people would enjoy most of it, if not all.
Awesome. Therese, these are great recommendations. Thank you so much for sharing them. I am already looking forward to next time when we can talk more. Viewers, we'd love to know if you are checking out any of these books, reading any of these books, what your thoughts are. And Therese, I just want to say thank you again for joining us on Coffee on the Coast. Thanks for watching, and we'll see everybody next time.
Yep.
Bye.